You get free quotation from the same shipment from China to Germany. Sea is the cheapest, rail costs more, and air is much more expensive. So you choose sea, obviously. But that sea quotation ends at the port. Your warehouse is 100 miles of kilometers away. Custom clearance was not included, so the goods arrive after your stock has already sold out. The cheapest freight quotation has just produced the most expensive result. So let's use one real example. 8 cubic meters from Shenzhen to a warehouse near Munich. The goods are for the sales campaign, so the date matters, but the freight still has to leave the margin in business. And more importantly, what would have to be true about your business for each one to be the right answer? First, make the free code comparable. Before you look at sea, rail, or air, check where each quotation start and stop. The suppliers may be selling X work where the goods are made available at the factory. So you arrange the pickup and the China side export process, or FOB, free on board, where the suppliers handles origin until the goods are loaded onto the vessel. The code starting at the factory cannot compare with the one starting at the port, and the destination matters just as much. Shipping to Germany could mean arrive at Hamburg, arrive at the rail terminal, arrive in Frankfurt airport, or delivery to your warehouse in Munich. Those are 4 different services. So ask every provider to quote from the same pickup address to the same final address, and to state clearly where the custom clearance, duties, imports, VAT, and file delivery are included. Without the same scope, you are not comparing the shipping method, you're comparing incomplete quotation. So when C makes sense, C deserves the first look when you are moving regular inventory, larger production, or cargo that is not emergent. For smaller ocean shipment, use LCL, less than container load, where your cargo is shared space with other importers. At the meantime, FCL means the full container is yours, even you do not fill it. There's no universal volume where the FCL automatically wins. So ask for both where your shipment could go either way. 8 cubic meters could probably come up as LCL code if you look attractive. It will also involve extra handling fee when shipments are combined in China and separate again after arrival. And that is one thing to settle before booking, where the cargo entry to European Union. A shipment for Germany may arrive at German port or entry through another countries and continues onward. Non-need goods can move under custom transit procedures, so the custom clearance happen at your planned destination rather than at the first port they touch. Your forwarders and your broker need to agree that plan before arrival, not during. C works when your inventory can absorb a longer journey. It becomes risky when you have no safety stock and the date is tied to a launch or a custom commitment. And the rail sit between two. The most important never ask for it. It is useful when C is low for the business, but air would have take more margin out of the product. China to Europe rail connects inland Chinese location to European terminals, but the rail leg is only part of the journey. Your goods still have to reach the departure terminal in China or travel from the arrival station to Munich, and the route across several rail and legal systems, so it gets confirmed, not assumed. For our shipment, the service arriving at the inland European terminal could cut the final load destination and distance compared with a distinct seaport. Just remember the rule, well on the quotation does not guarantee door delivery. Ask which terminal, whether the final trucking is included, where the custom clearance happened, and whether your product is accepted on that route. Particularly with battery, chemical, or liquids, sometimes the other items will be included. So the rail becomes attractive when arriving earlier has a real financial value. If it lets you keep selling, avoid a stockout, or hit a fixed campaign day, the extra freight can protect more margin than it costs. So air is the fastest, and the decision is not about the urgency alone. It is also about the shipment get built. Air cargo use the chargeable weight, which means the airline charge on the physical weight or on the volume weight. Calculate from the space your cartons occupied. The higher one generally applies, so the large light carton produced an air bill nobody expected. For our Munich shipment flying to the entire orders, it has to justify. Find a smaller quantity of the fastest selling product make far more sense. That protects the campaign while the rest travel by sea or by rail. That split usually more useful than forcing the entire orders into one model. Air freight makes sense when the cost of waiting is higher, the cost of moving faster, replacement part, urgent sample, production component, or a product already selling faster than you planned. The shipping method change how the cargo travels. It does not remove the German import requirement. A business carrying out a custom operation in the EU normally leaks and EORI numbers and the registration used to identify economic operators to customs. Apply for it before the shipment is moving, not while the cargoes wait for the clearance. Then confirm who act as the importers and who log the declaration. Germans use ATLAS. It declares electronic custom system. Your broker may submit on your behalf, but the commercial information still comes from you and your suppliers. And pay attention to commodity code. For German import customs, the full code run to 11 digits. A board classification supplied by your Chinese factory is often not enough to complete the export custom or import custom declaration correctly. German standard import VAT is 19% with a reduced rate on a select good. Import VAT and custom duties are two different charges, and the duty depends on your classification. So your land cost has to include product value, duties, import VAT, clearance, and delivery to the final address. A low fixed rate cannot reduce a land cost that was calculated wrong. None of this matter if the product cannot legally be placed on the German market. CE marking does not apply to every product. It applies to categories covered by the specific EU legislation. And when it does apply, the EU importer has responsibilities that go well beyond checking that the factory's pin on the symbol on the box. You need to verify that the manufacturer did the required conformity work, and that supporting document exists, and that require identification and the instruction travel with the product. Product contains chemical or certain materials can also create an application under REACH, the e-chemical regulation, depending on the substance and the quality. Do that work before you choose the farthest way or the farthest freight method, because discovering a compliance problem after air freight your good only means the problem reach German faster. So back to the Munich. C protects your margin if you have stock and the date is flexible. Rail is better balanced if the campaign days matters. Air makes sense for a smaller urgent quantity when the rest of the follow behind. None of this decision can be made from a price per cubic meter. So here is what you can do next week. 1. Coming shipment and require sea, rail, and air quotation using exact same cargo details, the same pickup address, and the same final delivery address. Then put those complete door-to-door costs next to the date you actually need the inventory. The right option usually becomes obvious the moment those two things are on the same page. So if you need the quotation to compare with your shipment, so you can contact with us. Our link is in bio. We share what really happens behind importing from China. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.